All right, guys, let's set the tone tonight. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Let's set the tone.
Let's go.
Everybody ready?
Welcome into Sportsline Friday night. I'm Steve Schneider. As you know, Jacques Doucet is up in Lexington. Our 32nd season, and it's rolling right along. Second half of the season, including a lot of teams that are starting to play district. Number one, Catholic High. The question is, anybody going to beat the Bears before they get to the playoffs? Tonight, East Ascension had that task. The Spartans looking on at the coin toss, and right out of the bat, the Bears defense making the plays. Troy Dunn threw the pass, but it was a fumble recovered by Jack Massey. It sets up Daniel Beal's 1-yard sneak for a touchdown. Catholic goes in front 7-0. However, EA's defense responds to the challenge. Joshua Burfict picks off Beal right here and takes this one to the house for the touchdown. And just like that, a 66-yard play gets the Spartans even at 7-7 in the second quarter. Second half, Catholic up 20-7. Tay Nicholas goes in from 11 yards out, his second touchdown of the game. Catholic now out to a 27-7 lead, but the Spartans aren't about to quit. Dunn would hit a receiver, Xavier Jupiter, 35 yards for the touchdown. That made it a 27-14 margin. Back comes Corey Singleton for the Bears, fighting his way through tacklers, not once, not twice, but then down the sideline. 62 yards for a Bears touchdown that pretty much put this game on ice. At this point, they're up 34-14, and for good measure, Singleton, who scored lots of touchdowns this year already, says, I'll take another. 43 yards on this one. Again, spinning out of 3 or 4 tacklers, leaving the rest in the dust. 43 yards on that touchdown. Catholic winning big tonight at Memorial. 48-29 was your final in their district opener. Lester Ricard took Scotlandville to his old stomping grounds. The Walker Wildcats used to be his employer. Big matchup tonight, and the Wildcats with a fired-up crowd as Scotlandville came in with their own smoke. First play of the game, maybe it was a smoke screen because this is an onside kick. Jeremiah Bell comes up with a big play, and the Hornets are in business. And how about the night for Chance Deuce Williams? He has a touchdown here, one of 6 that he scored for the Hornets. They are up 6-0 at that point. Same score when they go to their other back, Marlon Gunn Jr. He's on his way for 6 more, 12-0, Scotlandville in front. You got Wildcats also full of fight tonight. Second quarter, they fight back. Warren Young Jr. is a receiver sometimes, but he also plays that quarterback position, especially when he can run it like that. Fourth down on the same drive. They will get on the board as C.J. McClendon crashes in for the touchdown. Check out your final score in this one tonight from Walker, 46-34. 80 points on the board. We are just getting started on the wild night of Sportsline Friday night. Remember, we're on WAFB for the first few segments. Then at 10:35, we're over to WBXH. You can always find us on the 9 News app. We're back after this. Couple of great rivalries featuring purple and gold and Wildcats, but they weren't such great matchups when it comes down to the final score. You saw the numbers on the board right there as LUTCHER leads St. James 28-0 at the half. Markel Bergeron goes to Kobe Brown, and then Caden Williams gets the Wildcats on the board 28-6 at this point. St. James had won 4 straight to take a 4-game lead in this rivalry. LUTCHER trying to punt, Daniel Jupiter, and it's 28-12. So the Bulldogs lead is slipping, but LUTCHER would come back. You can see Dewanye Winfield, keeping for the score right there, putting his team back in front, 34-12. Winfield again, nice game, loses his helmet, picks up the first down, and then Winfield again, pushing in for the score. Bulldogs up 41-12, Dwayne Jenkins. Happy to get in the win column tonight. Robert Valdez had won so many of these games, but tonight it's Lutcher, still undefeated, 4-0 on the season. St. James, who lost to Carr last week, now 2 losses in a row, 41-19 was your final. All right, Denham Springs wearing the purple and gold. Wildcats, that's Central. This game was 7-7 at the half. Central with a 1-game lead in this series, 35-34 with 4 ties. That is Jonathan Swift connecting for a touchdown pass to put Central up 13-7 your score. Denham Springs later forced to punt. Tyler Heel picking up some blockers, showing us his speed down the sideline before he's dragged out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. From there is going to be Kyle Veal into your living rooms and into the end zone for the touchdown. Central starting to exert its muscle. Did you see Glenn Cage? Man, right through 2 tacklers with a 360 move. He's headed toward the goal line. Cage would cap off that drive with a touchdown as well. The Wildcats would score 27 unanswered points in this game in that second half, taking a 7-7 game to a 34-7 final. Again, the numbers in the series: Central 36, Denham 34, and 4 ties. We've got more of Sportsline coming up. Stay right there, and remember, we'll be switching over to WBXH, 10:35, the time for that. Welcome back to Sportsline. You know, we just showed Central and Scotlandville winning. They meet in a district battle next week. Also in the same district, Eli Holstein and the Zachary Broncos will be going to Denham Springs, but tonight they were in Livingston taking on the Live Oak Eagles. Cameron Senegal pulling in that pass and this one. 2 receptions, 2 big pickups, and now they're in the red zone. Time for Connor Wisham to appear in for the touchdown. Broncos drive quickly down against the Eagles and take a 7-0 lead. Holstein later to Charles Robertson. That has them in scoring position again. And it's Holstein this time on the ground with the keeper for the touchdown. Zachary in front 14-0. Second quarter, Holstein again to the air. Senegal back behind the defense. Nobody's going to catch him. He's on into the end zone. That's a 3-touchdown lead, 21-0 at that point. Live Oak got to 21, but Zachary wins it. 54-21 was your final. You know, Woodlawn spoiled things for Dutchtown last year. Ricky Collins with a great comeback performance tonight. Dutchtown taking on those Woodlawn Panthers. Lots of purple in the house. Game tied 7-7 late in the first half. Javion Haynes takes the handoff and races to the house for the score. 13-7 Panthers in front. Collins coming right back to Jonathan Benton. Huge pickup right here as he's breaking tackles up the sideline. And then Collins to Jalen Henry. That's 6 more points. And Woodlawn looking to make it back-to-back wins in this series with Dutchtown up 20-7 at the half. First drive of the second half, Griffins say this isn't over. This is Dylan Sampson who's going to take it to the house and cut that lead to 20-14. But the Panthers would want to answer on their home field, and sure enough they do. Collins going to go back, finding Henry again right across the seam. That's a first down. And then Collins will call his own number here, trying to restore a 2-touchdown lead. He will run into the end zone to make it a 27-14 lead. Can Dutchtown come back from that the way Woodlawn came back a year ago in this game? Griffins facing a 4th and short. Sampson does not get there. The Panthers stop them and take over, and Woodlawn with an impressive win over Dutchtown tonight on their home field. 27-14 was your final there, so obviously a big win there for Marcus Randall and his team. We're going to switch over to WBXH here in just a minute. We're going to have plenty more games. I believe there's 14 more to get to, some Thursday night action and some important games. U-High and Bruley was a game that was 7-0 at the half, a tight game. It ended up being a surprise finish. We'll see you in just a few minutes for more of Sportsline Friday night. Welcome back to Sportsline Friday night. We just showed you Woodlawn with a big victory over Dutchtown. Their next opponent will be on the road against Sanamaw, of course, playing their games at Dutchtown as they did tonight against the McKinley Panthers. Another district battle. Let's take you down there and show you as Sanamaw jumped out to an early 8-0 lead on the Panthers, looking to add to it right here. Joshua Maurice gets the handoff, gets the yardage. That's inside the 10, so they're in the red zone and about to score again. Maurice with the handoff, just pushing people out of the way as he scores the touchdown. 15-0, Gators in front. Second quarter, and McKinley has some problems. Cameron Price has the snap go over his head out of the end zone. That's a safety, so the Gators are ahead 17-0. Ensuing kickoff, and this is Shane Landry who picks it out of the air and then heads up the sideline for a nice return. Again, they're back in the red zone inside the 20-yard line. From there, Sanamaw would call on Maurice again, and he would score again to make it a 23-0 Sanamaw lead over McKinley in the second quarter. Quarterback Cole Poirier on the next possession, going to drop back to pass and find Cole Sims for a nice pickup in the flat. Finally bumped out of bounds, but he's close to scoring. From there, Poirier will do the quarterback keeper thing, walk into the end zone. That made it 31-0 Gators. They're still not done in the first half. Poirier would go to Tanner Oliver for 6 points right here. Scoots on in for a 38-0 lead. No problem for Sanamaw tonight against McKinley. 59-6 was your final score in that one. Highly anticipated U-High Bruley game tonight. Panthers, the home team, only down 7-0 to U-High in the first half, but a fumble recovery in the end zone made it 14-0 U-High, and then this fumble recovered by Jaden Ausberry sets up Blake Abney, who will go to Austin Ausberry. Coming right at you, that is a touchdown in the back of the end zone. Suddenly a 7-0 game is 21-0, Cubs in control. Next kickoff, you can start to see a theme here. Check out the high kick. Panthers can't get on it. Marcus Dawson, Keelan Moses say, okay, we will. That's another possession for the Cubs. We're still in the third quarter, and Brian Beck Jr. gets in on the action. 28-0. The Cubs have suddenly blown this game wide open, and they beat the Bruley Panthers tonight convincingly in that big second half. 42-6 was the final score there. Now the Madison Prep Chargers are headed toward a big district showdown with those U-High Cubs next week. Cruising to a 6-0 start on Thursday night without breaking a sweat against first-year foe Collegiate of Baton Rouge, David Jones. Opening kickoff, back for a touchdown. That was a quick 6-0 lead. Pretty much the same thing for Zion Chris to Samaj Pierre. Hooking up on the next possession, 13-0 Chargers in front. On the ensuing kickoff, the Dolphins weren't very deep. The ball goes off the hands of Travis Blackmore, who does a nice job hustling back to recover it, but his knee was down. So the ball's at the 2-yard line. Quincy Wiggins and the defensive line for the Chargers pushed that thing into the end zone for a safety. Chargers up 15-0. After the free kick, the ball goes back to Madison Prep on offense. Tony Lewis, much the same, just cruising right into the end zone for the touchdown, 21-0. The Dolphins, in their first year competing for district honors, have not scored a point yet in their first 4 games this year. 72-0 the final there in that one. Absolutely. At Olympia tonight, first-year coach Zach Leger watched the St. Michael Warriors defense stand tough against Liberty Magnet until the second quarter when Sportsline Player of the Week Caleb Jackson breaks about 5 tackles for 55 yards and a touchdown. His 15th of the season. Liberty undefeated now, up 7-0. But the Warriors' two-way star Nicholas Johnson shows some toughness. He made that big hit on Jackson, forced the fumble. Then on the very next play after the Patriots turnover, he rips off a huge gain deep into Patriots territory. However, St. Michael still hadn't scored as the clock was winding down on the final play of the half. Another Sportsline Player of the Week, Lester Jones, with a big hit to end the first half. However, that young quarterback, a freshman, Damon Blocker, scores the touchdown in the third quarter. cutting the margin to 7-6. They missed the point after and still had a quarter and a half to play, but Jackson will shut the door on any idea of a comeback, ripping off another long run for his 16th touchdown of the season, 14-6 at this point, and quarterback Kylan Gross did his best to extend the score. Start of the fourth quarter, it connects with Cody Rucker to make it 21-6. Blocker did add a late touchdown. They got a 2-point play, but Liberty stays unbeaten. Your final score in this one tonight was 21-14. Liberty over St. Michael. All right, a timeout on Sportsline. Much more to come. Stay right there. Welcome back to Sportsline, everybody. The Dunham Tigers in white there, coming off an incredible non-district comeback against Southern Lab a week ago, trying to keep it going on the road in district against Northeast. You see Kalante Wilson in for the first touchdown of the night. Tigers in front, 8-0 after the 2-point play. Then they recover the kickoff, an onside job. The Tigers have done this quite a bit this year. Vinny Rotolo with the recovery there. Then Hayden Hand goes to Wilson for the touchdown pass. Extra point is good, and Dunham jumps out to a 15-0 lead on the Vikings. Northeast quarterback Jerome Thompson tries to get his team back in the game. Rolling out the pass, Tyler Sensley is the target. But Matthew Weiner has other plans. He goes up for the interception, and the Tigers are going the other way after the turnover. From there, Hayden Hand looking over the middle. Jordan Dupree, he's gone for another Dunham touchdown, 22-0 at that point. Dunham goes on to a relatively easy victory, 43-14 on the road at Northeast tonight. Those Tigers will clash with the Episcopal Knights next week in a big district rivalry game. Last night, the Knights hosted Capital. First quarter, the Lions defense got a stop on the first series, but TJ Callahan recovers the muff punt and flips the field and possession for Episcopal. Didn't score on that one, but Cooper Bro calls his own number on the next drive. Couple of huge blocks, he's in for the touchdown. Knights go in front 7-0. After getting a stop late in the first quarter, they'll force a punt. Back to take it is Thomas DeArmond, and you can see what he does when he's got a little bit of daylight, putting it deep into Lions territory again. DeArmond would then, in the beginning of the second quarter, punch in that possession for a touchdown right here and put the Knights in front of Capital 14-0. Later in the second quarter, it'd be a little improv. Bro bobbles the snap, but then finds DeArmond running wide open up the sideline. That's a 32-yard scoring strike, 21-0 Episcopal at that point. We're still not to halftime, and the Knights in position to score again. That's Carson Duval, number 59, dreaming of scoring a touchdown. He didn't get in, but Ethan Carmouche did. 28-0 Knights at this point, and their defense was also handling business as well. Ethan Ott and J.B. Sessoms swarming to sack Savion Holiday. Episcopal now 5-0, 42-0 was your final score for the Knights in that one. Couple of undefeated teams taking the field tonight in Thibodaux. E.D. White hosting Donaldsonville. The Cardinals 3-0, Tigers 4-0. E.D. White gets the first score. That's Jake Sternfels, their quarterback, on a 10-yard keeper. 7-0 E.D. White in front. Travion Brown, the Tigers quarterback, picked off right here. Charlie Hunt of the Cardinals goes down right there, but they're in the red zone. And a few plays later, Jeffrey Diedrich knows what to do. 3-yard touchdown. Cardinals up 14-0. E.D. White's Harrison Leday takes in the screen pass and rumbles for 61 yards and another touchdown. Cardinals out to the big 21-0 lead in Donaldsonville's undefeated season, I do believe. Your final score tonight, 41-0. E.D. White now 4-0 on the season. Thrive Academy still looking for its first win of the season. The Bulldogs took on Slaughter at McKinley on Thursday night. First quarter, the Knights were down 6-0, but threatening at the goal line. That's Justin Carmina in for the touchdown. 2-point play, no good, so we're tied at 6. Later in the quarter, same score, and Slaughter Community Charter threatens inside the 10. Carmina on the read option says, I'll take this. Untouched for his second touchdown. This time they got the 2-point play, made it 14-6. Second quarter, Knights offense back on the field. This time Joshua Thomas will take the handoff, bounce this one to the outside and up the sideline for the big gainer. Later in the drive, they would turn it over to Marion Perry, who's going to find Thomas in the back corner of the end zone through the air. That touchdown makes it 20-6. Slaughter starting to pull away, and the Knights bounce back from that tough loss to Northeast. They're now 4-1 on the season, 36-12 in the win column for that one. All right, we've got a little more to come. Stay right there for more of Sportsline after this. Welcome back to Sportsline, everybody. In white, you see the Saints of West Feliciana trying to bounce back from that disappointing second half loss to Parkview, taking on St. Thomas Aquinas. You saw head coach Randall Leggett right there. West Feliciana's Joel Rogers, the quarterback, hooks up with receiver Daniel Willis. Saints' second drive of the game, but it's stopped on that play by Nunzio Martello with the big hit in the backfield. Start of the second quarter, though, they go to the air. Rogers to Willis. This time, that's 6 points with an extra point. Saints go on top of the Falcons 7-0. Ensuing kickoff, and the Saints kind of do the little pooch kick thing. And St. Thomas Aquinas can't get on the football. We're seeing a lot of this year. Sure enough, it is recovered by the Saints. They're back in business 3 plays later. Jatarius Johnson in from 6 yards out, 14-0. Saints in front of St. Thomas Aquinas. The Falcons begin to move the ball. That's Drew Milton finding his receiver, Case Reed. Pick up a 20 across the middle 3 plays later. Cue Devaki Williams, because he's going to take the handoff and get into the end zone for the touchdown. Falcons on the board. Check out your final tonight. 43-33, a shootout between those two, especially in the second half. Must have been a fun game to watch. All right, some Thursday night action, and Independence journeyed up to Kentwood. The Kangaroos on their home field. First play of the game, Carmel Taylor takes the handoff, keeps his balance through all of that, and breaks a couple of tackles, racing off down the sideline. First play of the game, 80-yard touchdown. Kangaroos go in front of the Tigers 7-0. Tigers couldn't move it, were forced to punt. Kentwood gets the ball back, facing a 3rd and long. Eric Earl knows what to do, finds Tyler Hookfin. This is an 86-yard touchdown, 13-0. Kangaroos in front. They missed the extra point. Kangaroos defense, we're not showing them, but I can tell you they were stopping the Tigers over and over, forcing another punt. A few plays later, Jamarian Burton. Check out this run right here. It's only a 25-yard run, but I feel like he ran through 4 or 5 people much bigger than him. And tiptoes down the sideline and gets past the last tackler for the score. Kentwood up 20-0 at that point, and the Roos go on to win it. 41-6 was your final score. Bogalusa against Albany tonight, and the Lumberjacks brought the lumber in this one. Late in the second quarter, they're looking to add to a lead. Ashton Levi deep for Tadron Forbes, a huge gain that puts them inside the Hornets' 5-yard line. From there, Levi takes the handoff, and that extends Bogalusa's lead to 36-0 at the half. Start of the third quarter, they're looking for more. Levi and Forbes picking right up where they left off. Forbes takes the screen pass, picks up a nice gain, and then it's going to be Levi to Forbes again. On the end of this one, there's nobody home except him and Greengrass in the end zone. 43-0 at that point. Lumberjacks get that win by a final of 43-0. All right, St. John and East Iberville meeting up in Plaquemine on Thursday night. This was a scoreless game in the second quarter when Colton Canella runs it in for the St. John Eagles and puts them up by a 7-0 score. It was the same score in the third quarter when Travion Perkins doing the same thing he did all night for the Tigers. Gaining yardage, in this case scoring a touchdown with a 2-point play. East Iberville went up 8-7. It was 13-8 in the fourth. St. John takes over as Canella recovers that snap in the end zone, 19-8. Next possession, Tigers on the move. This is going to be a deep pass, but Joseph Slaughter has other ideas. He makes the interception, the two-way star for the Eagles. Nice run back as well, deep into East Iberville territory. Later in the drive, Slaughter will finish it off with a rushing touchdown right here. Eagles go in front by 2 scores and win. Your final score in this one was 26-14, St. John over East Iberville. Take out the Mumford Stadium and the score on the board. Southern Lab has been doing this to lots of people this year, not just Faraday, the visitors on this one. Angelo Izard with a pickup for a first down and then a complete pass to Darren Morris for the touchdown. Southern Lab, who was up 35-0, makes it 42-0 with the extra point. Jerry Griffin for Faraday, then fumbles right there. It is recovered by the Kittens, and they are back in action again on offense. Again, it's going to be Izard back to pass. And that's a connection for a touchdown as well. So the Kittens at this point up by a 49-0 lead as the extra point was good, and that was your final score tonight. So Southern Lab blowing out Faraday to get back in the win column after that tough loss last week in the end to the Dunham Tigers. All right, let's get you through some other scores of tonight. The Plaquemine Green Devils, a much-needed win after losing to Bel Air last week. Tara, the victim in that one, 51-6, Green Devils with the win. Elsewhere, we had Port Allen running over the Tigers of East Feliciana, the Pelicans, 42-13 winners in that matchup. Bel Air, we just mentioned them, great win last week and an even bigger win tonight over Broadmoor, neighborhood rivals. Bel Air, 48-0. Broadmoor still winless on the season, I believe. Glen Oaks, a win over Baker. The Panthers are having a great year. The Baker Buffaloes struggling, to say the least, 20-6 the final score in that one. You've also got Ascension Catholic and White Castle, but there's no score there to report. I'll try to get that one for you. Central Private edging Ascension Christian, 27-26. So the REDHAWKS fans happy about that result on the home field tonight. And what else do we have? Jewel Sumner blowing out LORANGER, 50-33. Sumner's having a great season, putting up lots of points. May need to go check them out here in the very near future. Other scores, Sacred Heart beats the Hornets of Catholic Point Capee, 36-12 was the final in that one. And AMITE Warriors, no surprise, beating Varnado 35-14 in 2A district action. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's show. Don't forget, go to WAFB.com, nominate your favorite for Player of the Week. We'll be back next week for Steve Schneider and our crew. Goodbye, everybody.